Here are 5 things you want to watch out for if you're going to use Cursor for vibe coding. Avoid these mistakes if you want to build something quickly and easily with AI. I vibe coded the AI Flash Report with Cursor. This is a new site that rounds up the latest developments in the AI space once per day. Now, I'm not a developer, and once I figured out these 5 mistakes, I was able to build it a lot faster. My first mistake was not backing up to GitHub sooner. So Cursor is great, but it'll sometimes rewrite an entire project, or sometimes it'll do things that I don't want it to do. And then when I try and revert it, it can be pretty difficult. So if you're going to use Cursor to vibe code, make sure you log into your GitHub account, that you create a repository, give it a name, give it a description, and set it to public or private. Then you want to make sure you take this link and put it into Cursor and then deploy early and often. It's pretty easy to deploy to GitHub. Head over to your Cursor chat and then put in this prompt. Can you deploy to GitHub? And then paste in your GitHub URL. And then Cursor will push what you've just worked on to your GitHub repository, and then you can revert things later on if Cursor has decided to change everything. My second big mistake was trying to do too many things in one chat in Cursor. Basically, I came up with an idea for a feature and I tried to build it, troubleshoot it, and then add some additional things to it. And as you can see, the chat with Cursor went on for hours. And I quickly found out that Cursor started going down rabbit holes and started making huge code changes which didn't make any sense. And I also found that various AI models began to time out. Instead, you're far better off working on one feature for your app or for your project inside of a specific chat window. And then when you have that in a state that you're happy with, open up a brand new chat, give Cursor a little bit of context, and then get going. But don't try to accomplish everything with one prompt or with one chat. My next big mistake was not creating specific rules in Cursor for my coding and for my projects. Rules basically keep Cursor and the various AI models that you're going to use on track. And they're pretty easy to set up and they only take a few moments. So once you've created your Cursor account, head to settings and then head to Cursor settings. And then look for rules. Now you can create user rules which apply to all of your Cursor projects. So I just simply have a one-line prompt, talk to me like I'm a junior developer, be concise and avoid major code changes. But I actually spend a bit more time creating project-specific rules. So for this particular project, I created rules about coding standards, about how I like to deploy my project to GitHub, about the design, and about the content that's going to appear on the site. I wrote some of these rules myself, and for other rules, I asked Cursor to write them for me. It's pretty easy to add a rule once you've written it. You can go through the steps that I showed you a few moments ago and then select Add New Rule, or you can head to the Cursor Rules folder on your computer in the left-hand sidebar and just simply paste in a new file. And now you have a couple of options which will keep Cursor on track. So you can ask Cursor to always refer to this rule every time it outputs something. So I have a rule related to AI memories which does just that. You can also select manual and then you can call up the Cursor rule at any time by typing @ and then by typing in the file name. Or you can select agent requested and then describe exactly what this rule is helpful for. So as an example, I have a rule that describes how I like to deploy my projects to GitHub. And if I change this to agent requested and change this to when deploying to GitHub, Cursor will know, or the AI model that I'm using with Cursor will know that I should always reference this rule before it deploys my project to GitHub. Now, it does take a little bit of time to find rules and to write them for your project, but they will save you some stress and a lot of QA later on. My next big mistake was fighting AI instead of just testing the same prompt in different models. So you can easily change from different models inside of Cursor. So at the time of recording, Claude 4 Sonnet is great for coding, but I find it regularly times out at particular times in the day. So I'll often switch over to Gemini 2.5 Pro. But I found the responses from Gemini 2.5 Pro can be quite lengthy and laborious. It's kind of like a boring professor you'd listen to when you're in university. So sometimes I'll switch between these two different models. I'll also sometimes use O3 depending on the task in question. And sometimes I'll try max mode, which uses up a lot more tokens and which can quickly get expensive, but it will output some code that I'm happy with a lot faster and a lot more easily. But basically, I will try and fix something with one of the models, and if I'm not happy with it, I'll change to a different model. My final big mistake was spending too much time in agent mode. Cursor is great, and so are the AI models inside of it. But I found that Cursor will quickly go through my code base and make huge changes. It will change the design and look and feel of my site if I let it. So I'll regularly switch from agent mode to AS mode And then I'll ask Cursor to give me not one, but 3 different solutions for something that I'm working on, or to explain what it's doing. And this will prevent Cursor from going down a tangent or reworking my entire web app. So I'd suggest that you work in Ask mode, read through what Cursor has outputted, and then when you're happy, change back to agent mode and simply type proceed, and Cursor will change or will make the change based on some guidance that you've given it. And remember, at any time, you can access your previous chats with the different models by selecting the icon in the top right hand corner and then by searching through your old chats. And then you can copy and paste the information from that chat and put it into a new chat to give Cursor a little bit more context. So those are just 5 of the mistakes that I made when I got started with Cursor. Basically, I'd recommend that you back up early and often to GitHub. Don't expect too much from one chat window. Experiment with your prompts and with the different AI models. If you want to get more from writing prompts, I've actually created an entire course dedicated to the art of prompt writing. You can get it at promptwritingstudio.com, and I'll also put links and information in the comments section below this video. And this video actually comprises an entire playlist about my foray into vibe coding. If you want to follow along, then don't forget to hit subscribe.